In today's Things I Want to Know, we talk about a man who wasn't the kind of killer legends grow around. He was just a red-haired Arkansas drifter with a broken brain and a bad temper. And while the world was bleeding out of the final moments of World War II, Arkansas had its own quiet war going on the back roads. This is the real-life story of Red Hall.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know.
Hello, everybody. I get to take a turn this time.
You taking a turn?
Taking a turn. We're going to talk about James Wayburn Hall. We're going to call him Red. He was known as Red because he had red hair. Supposedly, we would say that he's a serial killer / spree killer because he has 4 confirmed kills, but he pretty much has been confessed to like 24, but there's no I guess evidence to prove this other than what he's saying. But this takes place around the end of World War II when everything is like crazy, I guess you could say, throughout the world. And he kind of got lost in the shuffle, I think, because...
Well, yeah.
I mean, everyone's like worried about their GI people and, like what's going on and are we going to win the war? And he just kind of slips in and does his thing.
Yeah, this is down the street from my grandparents' house.
Yeah, which is crazy. So,
well, not down the street. It's probably about 10 miles out of town, maybe.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, so it's close. So this is going to take place like between Little Rock and Stuttgart. He supposedly likes to hitch on trains and goes anywhere from Kansas to Arizona to Texas to everywhere.
But it starts way back in the day. Was it Fordyce? Was that where he was from? Where was he from?
I think something like that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. But he was born January 20th, 1921 to parents Samuel Jerome Hall and Eva. And according to their niece, the dad, we'll call him Samuel, was a preacher with horns.
A horny preacher?
Basically, no,
you
not
missed that.
Nah, I'm not going there. No, it was nothing like that. I guess this was like 1920s, 1930s. Things that were at
might have been a horny preacher. I don't know.
I don't even want to go there.
What?
That's funny though, but no, this guy was kind of like fire and brimstone. Crime, basically like punishment. He believed in
arm preacher,
sin, basically called a lay preacher. But I read it like in the paper, like they called him reverend. So I don't know if he had a congregation or not, but a couple times in the paper.
You don't get to be a reverend if you don't have following.
I mean, one would hope, but they called him a lay preacher from what I can get. And hellfire preaching, strict moral codes, constant talk of sin and punishment.
We went through that this morning.
It wasn't that bad. But this guy liked to control every aspect of his kid's life. And Red had like 9 other siblings. Somewhere in the mix, they had 10 total.
And they were doing the basic farm stuff, taking care of the chickens.
Yeah, all
feeding
that
the
stuff.
cows. And they were out, they go out and bale hay and
all that good stuff, and he had very much his dad was involved in everything from like chores to church to every aspect of their kids' lives. He was in control of. And I don't know if that's a common thing.
Yeah, it was really common
for the 30s, kind of like, but anything I've read, we'll quote a book in the show notes. It's the Arkansas Hitchhiker Killer from Janie Nesbitt Jones. I actually got this book.
Hello, Mrs. Nesbitt.
It was funny. I got this book because we went into Barnes & Noble in Little Rock when my daughter was graduating. And I asked the lady, I was like, what's Arkansas True Crime? And she pulls the book off the shelf and hands it to me. And I was like, I don't know anything about this guy. So I read it. It was a really kind of interesting book because I didn't even hear about, nobody knows about this guy.
Well, they know enough about him to write a book.
Yeah, but there's some interesting things as we'll get into it about what all he did. But basically, Red had an 8th grade education, which I guess was pretty.
Well, back up just a second. Red has an 8th grade education because he quit school.
Oh yeah, I'm getting there.
Well, no, I mean the timeline's all goofed up. I don't know. I have a timeline in my head of A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yeah. There's our dogs, everybody.
I don't think they can hear them, actually. I got the limiters on.
But basically, during he was a quiet kind of, did his chores, what his dad asked. He was a good boy up until some things happened to him when he turned 12. He got struck in the head, basically by a pole used while baling hay.
Whopped.
been much just hard.
Well, it was this long pole that people used to use we're not talking about the giant circle hay that you see today. We get these big giant bales of circle hay.
Yeah, I remember.
And those things weigh probably 2 tons.
Yeah, they look
They're
heavy.
not light at all. But back in the day, they would make their hay a little differently. You could do the traditional hay that you saw on all your Thanksgiving things.
Yeah,
where it's all kind of bundled up and into like an hourglass, half an hourglass kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you also had the square bales of hay. Now, the square bales of hay were mostly machine. They weren't really. And so who knows which kind they were using, but because I only know the machine hay.
Yeah, I don't even know how they did that back in the 30s.
But you had to have this big pole to get it going.
Yeah.
And this big giant wooden pole with a piece of metal on the end. Got whacked with it.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that is his family said that he was never the same after that.
Yeah, I think because he got whacked and his attitude afterwards, his front part of his brain got damaged.
Probably. But they said after the accident, he was like skipping school. He was running away from home. He was doing petty juvenile crime where he'd like steal money from people and steal food. You know, his family just basically said he wasn't quite right.
And his dad, of course, is a preacher
and
who was going to whoop his ass if he's acting up.
Yeah. So it was like they were having this constant fight and battle, and he would just, skip school. His dad get mad, probably beat him. And then he would just disappear and then come back and hitchhike all over Arkansas and in various places, which I can't imagine like a 12, 13, 14-year-old hitchhiking.
Back then it was common.
That's hard for me. That's mind blowing to me still.
No, it's just, you got to remember, if you go back to the 30 years before, school was optional.
Yeah, I guess 8th grade education was like.
Even in the Northeast, school was optional. Because in 1912, they were still letting those kids, they put those kids to work selling newspapers and working in fish places in cotton places and things like that where little hands they needed people with little hands to do stuff. So they were putting children to work at 10, 11, 12.
Which is why we have child labor laws now.
Child labor laws weren't around before the 1910s. Right in that era.
But I guess it was like pretty common for parents to basically whoop your kid or beat your kid.
You're going to do it, I tell you. You're going to pay the price.
Nowadays, that's very frowned upon.
I think we should bring some of it back. Not all of it, just, a little.
Just don't beat them where they turn psycho, but,
Yeah, but sometimes, just saying.
Well, another part of the story that I find very conflicting is the book I read said that he's been married twice. Now, anything else I can find otherwise can't prove that. So this is a very gray area.
So we're thinking this guy ended up being a habitual liar.
Yeah, he did. But the girl that they first found, her name is Walcie, Walcie, however you pronounce that. And he met her. He thought she was lovely. She was young. He'd flirt with her and that kind of stuff. And she was very, very young and gets married to him. And everything's.
That was Faye.
That's the one that we know we can confirm as a wife. But this book said he was married prior. Yeah. So I don't really know. I can't find anything on this. But at the end of this book, it does talk about a little bit of credence to this first wife by the fact that she's buried not far from where Red ends up being buried. And they have an unborn child with the last name Hall. Huh. So I don't know. I would think for Walcie's, we'll call her. Well, yeah, Walcie. Let's call her Walcie.
That's the first wife.
Yeah, I would think that after she finds out what he does, that she probably doesn't want to be known.
She probably didn't. Well, what?
Think about it. How would you want to be known to be the first wife of this guy in the 40s in Arkansas that kills everybody?
Oh,
that's what I'm getting at.
I see. Because he didn't kill her.
No, he didn't kill her, which I don't know. I mean, basically they get married. Everything's great. She tries to be a great wife.
It was never great.
Or it was never great. I can't find anything in there that he beat her or anything. That's not.
It also could just be a big lie by Red.
True. I mean, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. This is kind of what the book says, but I'm just kind of going by what I can't substantiate this. Yeah. But we're just going to talk about it because it's part of the story. But anyways, he would just one day he came in and say, "I'll be back in a few minutes," and then disappears for weeks on end. Just disappears.
Well, she might not have been that pretty.
I don't have a picture of her, so I don't know.
Never mind.
Well, and then I'm
a little bit cantankerous today. We went to a church service this morning that almost put me out.
Oh.
It's true.
It did not put you out.
You were like, wake up in the middle of it.
Well, I think that's common for most people in church.
You're just like, I'm trying to get you to banter here, and you're not doing it.
I don't think it was that bad.
Okay.
That's what I'm going. I don't know what your problem is.
You were poking me in the leg going, don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
I had this thing where I could just picture you like falling asleep and like falling in the aisle and like everybody's head's turning around. I'll be like, oh no.
Sorry. I was just so enthralled with it that I passed out.
Gosh. And we had a guest pastor today, so that would have been real well.
Yeah.
So
I'm still tore up over that because I'm like, trying to wake up, man.
Drink your energy drink. You'll be fine.
Yes, mother.
So basically they're married. He just wanders off, sends her a postcard, says, I'm doing fine, honey. I'll see you soon.
How do we know that?
It says it mentions in here that there's a postcard.
But if no one can confirm he was actually married, is the book right? Who told the person that wrote the book that?
She's got references in the back, and I didn't honestly look at them, but like anything in the 20s and 30s, I don't think the best record keeping was ever available.
Nobody cared.
Nobody really cared. I mean, nobody would thought we'd be talking about this guy in 2025. But so basically, she gets tired of this crap, for lack of a better term, and basically just goes, we need to talk about this. And he just decides, let's get a divorce.
But there's no record that they ever were married in any of the records.
I
for
know,
the state.
but for the sake of the podcast, I'm just mentioning this, okay?
So, we're trying to keep the facts.
Well, I just really bring it up because I find it interesting because basically while they were married, they did have a child. If they were
stillborn.
And it was in breech position. She had a difficult childbirth and the baby was stillborn. And I guess not long after that baby was born, Red just decided to go wander off again.
Yeah. Might as well.
So this lady, Wilsie, gets away scot-free. She gets to leave. She gets to,
Then he meets Faye Clemens.
Yes, Faye Clemens. I do have a picture of her. It's a drawing. Yeah. She looks like your typical, 1940s girl, basically, I could say.
I guess she was a little argumentative.
She was feisty. She was feisty.
I like my women a little feisty.
They fought a lot. From what I understand, Red was kind of like to control the situation.
Well, he's doing what his dad taught him.
Yeah. So
now keep in mind, this guy's not even 21 yet.
Yeah, I think he dies when he's 25.
24.
24? No, 24, 25. But basically, he meets the hot and heavy. This lady, they live in Little Rock. They like to go dancing. They like to have, a nice fun time. And she gets frustrated with him.
They probably saw Hank Williams live, more than likely. The actual Hank Williams.
Maybe.
He was running around about that. But why wasn't he in the military? That's what I always ask. Why wasn't this guy drafted?
Well, I think because he had basically couldn't follow directions.
Well,
and he was,
Probably because he had that injury.
Yeah.
And that's going to 4F you right there, which 4F, for those of you who don't know, is in World War II was the military classification for unfit for duty.
Yeah.
You could have flat feet.
Flat feet was one of them. Dyslexia.
No, if you have no teeth, you're not going.
Dyslexia.
Okay.
I think I've heard that before.
I don't think they tested for it then.
I think there's a way they could figure it out, but I don't know.
I think if you had mild dyslexia, they're like, whatever. Just remember to duck. What?
You don't want someone with severe dyslexia flying a plane.
Yeah, but give them a rifle and tell them to go that way. They can do that.
But don't you have to read a map or read certain things?
Don't put them in charge.
Still, I think you need to reading is important.
Why did you invade New Zealand? You should have been invading Europe. That's the other side. Oh, I transposed the longitude.
I mean, I don't know. I know with dyslexia, it's B's and D's. You flip certain letters around. Yeah. Severity, you flip numbers around. My daughter has dyslexia, so that's how I know that.
One of them, anyway.
One of them, yeah. But she does great, though. So Faye buys his, leaves him for a bit, stays with a friend, talks to her friend about how, I'm kind of missing Red. And then she goes back to Red, and then one evening she says, we're going to go dancing in Little Rock.
Yep.
So she gets on this really nice, pretty dress, talks about these really pretty buttons and these nice brand new shoes.
It's
Which
very important to females. The
shoes.
shoes.
Yes, which is interesting in this because it talks about this, about how they go dancing, they have a great time. She wants to take the elevator down as they're leaving.
Oh, yeah.
And Red's like, no, we're going to take the stairs.
She didn't want to because her feet hurt.
And she had her shoes off. And so basically they end up walking down the stairs. They have a little bit of an argument outside of the car and her friend's with her. And so she gets in the car, she moves over for her friend to get over, and her and Red are still arguing outside the window and he slaps her. And so
Schmack.
they get in the
And
car.
back then, that's allowed.
And yeah, it is allowed, unfortunately. And so they
It's
drive.
looked down upon.
Yeah.
But they're not going to throw you in jail over it.
So this is all taking place, in September 14th of 1944. So basically they drop the girlfriend off.
It's probably still 100 degrees outside in Little Rock. Well,
Yeah, probably. And they never hear from Miss Faye again.
Oh, they found her.
They found her, yes, but her family's the one that pushed a lot of it. They bugged Red a lot, like, where's she at?
Yeah.
Red would be like, I don't know, she just disappeared. But what's funny, though, is when they're arguing, she kind of like mouths off to him and makes a statement about how basically she's just going to get in a car and go to the coast and leave him.
Yeah. She gets tired of his crap.
And
But then a little while later, they find her beaten to death
Yep.
as she washed up in the Arkansas River.
Yep. And the crazy thing about this is Red's picked up, questioned, and he just said, "Oh, she just left me. One night we decided we had an argument that night. We went to bed. I woke up the next morning and she's gone." And of course, I don't know how
She was so distraught that she went to a bridge and banged her head against it as much as possible until she accidentally fell over into the river. That's what happened, according to Red.
Yeah, I'm like, who's going to believe that? And so
I'm going to beat myself up.
But the family is, of course, distraught and upset, and they're like, where's our daughter? So they go to the police department, and they're like, hey,
Police don't care.
she's missing. We don't know where she went. She's married to this guy named Red. We've noticed bruises on her, da-da-da-da-da. And the police are sort of like, we can't do anything without a body.
Yeah. Or on top of that, you could beat your wife up, and if the police thought, if the guy who's taking the report goes, she's so full of crap, I'd have done the same thing, then they're not going to file charges anyway.
Yeah.
So the thought of the day, it was back then, and this is something we've left out of policing now, but back then it was all of policing. So there's that fine line from too far one way versus too far the other way. Back then, if the cop felt it wasn't that big a deal, he got to choose if you were going to jail or not.
That's messed up.
But that's the way it was.
But that's messed
It
up,
was
man.
that way until the late 80s. Now we've gone completely the other way, and the cop
Yeah.
has no choice but to send you to jail over anything.
I guess because, this is just my speculation, I guess maybe because they ignored so many other things that they'd rather err on the side of caution than not.
I could see that, and I'd rather have it the way it is now than the way it was then. But there needs to be, the cops need to be able to make a decision. If this doesn't warrant somebody going to jail, they just screwed up for a second. It's an accident.
But I mean,
Not when it comes to beating your wife, but I'm talking about just in general.
but they don't know how many times you've gotten
Away with it.
Yeah. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
knows. And I think the past of them ignoring things has probably made them more mindful about it
When
now.
it comes to something like that, if you see signs, and not just somebody getting in an argument once and being loud, because that's just being loud. That's not illegal.
Yeah.
You could stand in the middle of the road and scream at each other, and the most they can get you for is disturbing the peace, which is like a $10 fine or a $50 fine.
But they still get called. People still get called.
Yeah. But
Which is it should, because you don't know if 1 minute from arguing, is it going to escalate to him bringing out a gun or him just knocking her to the ground or her knocking him to the ground.
Yeah, see, well, a lot more women beat up guys these days, but then we know they don't do that. Women tend to, I've seen it where chicks are beating up their man, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't
And the
get
guy's
that.
like, she's not really hurting me. Just let her, because guys can take a lot, because guys have to fight guys.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, so they just kind of ignored it and went on. It's like, yeah, whatever.
So, he's kind of hanging around Little Rock doing his thing, saying that she ran off. Basically, packed up all her stuff, dropped it off at her family's house, which I find that a little suspicious. If she just disappeared.
I don't need this stuff. She's dead.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But I'm sitting here thinking, you just kind of like to the family, I'd be like, why are you giving me all my daughter's clothes?
I don't know. I didn't need it anymore.
I mean, there's a caveat to that. We know he killed her. Okay, let's just get the cat out of it.
In hindsight.
Hindsight, yeah. And to the family, they're thinking like, and he could be like, oh, she left me. Here's her stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I don't know if she ain't coming back. And if she does come back, she ain't coming back here. So here's her crap.
Or, she ain't coming back. She had a celestial departure.
This is Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. So basically, Red's doing his thing. And then his second interesting thing is a gentleman by the name of Carl Hamilton. This is July 29th,
yeah, but what's he doing in the meantime? After he gets done with killing her and gives her stuff back, he just takes off.
He just takes off, yeah.
And he travels. He's traveling all around the country. He's going to Texas. He's going to Arizona. And in Arizona, he claims that he killed 10 Mexicans.
That's true. Yeah, which we can't really substantiate any of that.
And back then in Arizona, if you killed 10 Mexicans, the local police would be like, I don't care. Yeah. Because they're not, they don't live here. They come up here and they do a bunch of stuff and then they bother people and then they leave.
Yeah.
And, that's the mentality of the day, especially in southern Arizona. They're like, no, there was no fence. There was no border. You had the Rio Grande. And that was the only thing keeping people from going between Mexico and the United States. Has
it been like that up until recently?
Mm-hmm. It sure has. Up until probably the mid-'80s, 90s. Yeah. Absolutely.
And they
have a border crossing, but if you've ever seen, we watched the movie with Jack Nicholson, Chinatown.
Yeah.
Where does he go? He goes into Mexico. And there's no check. You just go.
Yeah, back then you would just get in your car and go.
Yep. Just get and go.
Which is crazy, but...
You're in a different country. Didn't even need a passport. Just needed a way to get there.
Crazy. There is one thing that they think that he might have killed, but they can't substantiate it, is he was in Kansas, and they don't know the circumstances.
Boiler room worker or something like that, wasn't he?
No, I think it's Kansas, where a guy was dropped his kids off to go Christmas shopping, and then he gets all their Christmas gifts wrapped up in this beautiful, pretty paper, puts it in the back of the car, and he's sitting there in the car, and I guess Red shoots him. We don't really know the exact details of it.
He probably cussed at him or something.
But the sad thing that I remember the most about it is the girls get in the car and say, hey, Dad, let's go home. And then they see him slump over in the car. Oof. I mean, that's sick. And that's mean. I mean, that's awful.
Sounds about right, though.
But it also says maybe his second killing was Carl Hamilton on January 29th, 1945. They say he was a bootlegger found shot in his car. This is not the same guy. But this is like around Arkansas. They don't exactly say exactly where he's at.
So what's he doing now? Is he just running around?
Yeah, he's just running around, probably wanting money, probably wanting food, and just taking opportunity when he gets it. And he uses the same gun and all these things.
Which is the reason why they figured out it was him. At the same time, though, this is World War II.
Yeah.
Right? And he's running around Little Rock and around Stuttgart.
Yeah.
Which is where my family's from.
Yes, that's correct.
And in Stuttgart at the time, you go look on Google Maps now, or you go and do any research on Stuttgart, you're going to see Riceland Foods.
Oh yeah, Riceland
producers,
huge.
So that's where the home office for Riceland is, and you'll see a town of about 3,000 people. Okay,
it's only 3,000, really,
give or take.
Wow, okay.
It's not much. It was only 8,000 back in the 90s and the 80s. So maybe 15 at one point and when I was a little kid. But it's just people just leaving because there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. I mean, Main Street still has open businesses that are still doing business. That doesn't happen in a regular town. Now we've got shopping centers. The ones we're used to.
When you were showing me like pictures of it, I don't really remember seeing any shopping centers. It was like downtown had their little shops and that was it. I didn't think about that till you mentioned it, but yeah.
Yeah. There was a Walmart and an old movie theater tore up and fallen down and a community college. And that's it.
I'm surprised there's a community college, to be honest.
Well, there's nothing down there. So everybody from all around the couple of counties come there.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. So, but at the time, Stuttgart, because it's a bunch of rice fields, it looks like France, and it's orchards and whatnot. It's fields.
Which I didn't know this until you was telling me about this with World War II, how Stuttgart was like really important to the war.
Yeah. So when you look, you wonder, if you wonder why in the world is this guy in Stuttgart, and there's a reason, because there's 6,000 soldiers stationed in Stuttgart at this time. 6,000 or more. That's just the core people. So they're moving people in and out. So there could be as many as 15,000 U.S. soldiers, service members for the Army in there. And the reason for that is they built an air base, because there was no Air Force. It was Army Air Corps at that time. Mm. And they built an air base where they trained them how to use the gliders when they invaded France.
Which I didn't know gliders were a thing until you were telling me about it. Because I'm like, what's a glider? I'm thinking like planes. That's what everyone did, I would think.
It looks like a plane, but it's a glider. Like they hauled it and dropped them in behind the lines. So they're training the pilots and the guys how to do stuff there. And my grandmother, she told me that many times she would see them crash in the field behind the house because, they're just giant balsa wood planes, like that weak balsa wood.
I'm just thinking the way you picture it. I'm just thinking like this kite, them coming in flying on a kite.
No, it's a rudimentary plane. So there's 6,000 guys there. So it makes sense why he's going to go there, why he's going to be in Fordyce, and why he's going to be in Stuttgart. Yeah. Which is places where he killed people.
Yeah. Between Stuttgart and Little Rock.
Yeah. And Fordyce is somewhat different, but yeah. But he's down there because, guarantee you, 6,000 servicemen from all around the country. There's gambling, there's drinking, there's girls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Sense.
And there's money to be made.
Money to steal.
Money to steal. And people to steal from is the biggest thing. So, yeah, 2.5 times the population of Stuttgart is stationed there during World War II.
How far is Stuttgart from Little Rock? You would know better.
An hour.
Just an hour?
Maybe less.
Really?
I would figure then it would be about an hour because they didn't have highways or interstates.
Oh, yeah, they didn't. There's like 2-lane roads probably.
You hit an interstate going to Memphis, and then you take a right and go to Stuttgart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I guess I take for granted that, I remember being in high school when we got the interstate past Fayetteville to go to Fort Smith was like the thing. Yeah,
and then all the cows were like, "Why did you mess with our land I was eating?"
Exactly. Which is kind of like that now because I'm like, we need moo cows for we love our hamburger, but and steak, but
yes,
we need land to grow them on.
When I see a cow, some people when they see a cow, they go, those beautiful little cows, they're so innocent. And I look at the cows and go, lunch.
You used to always do that to my kids. You'd go, steak. Because one of my kids thought about being a vegetarian. We knew that wouldn't last long.
No.
Not in our house. We love you vegetarians out there, but...
you can do what you want. Doesn't matter.
I can't do it.
So, yeah, he's down there for that, and he's hitchhiking the whole way.
Right? Which, I guess, to me, we hitchhiked up until, the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, and people started dying.
And then they're like, maybe we should stop doing that.
People were dying then, too, but we just didn't... Now we have news, we have TV.
We have everything.
Yeah. Back then, they had the radio and newspapers.
That's right. You're right. There was no TV. There was
TV, but barely.
Barely?
Yeah.
I was thinking TV really didn't come around to the 50s.
It's true. But they had TV in the 20s in New York City, for example.
Really?
Yeah. But it was very, you had to be super rich.
It must have been a gigantic TV.
Yeah. It was heavy. Well, it was actually really small.
Oh, was it?
Because they didn't know how to make it bigger because it's, radiation and all that goodness.
I remember now we've got flat screen TVs and stuff. I bet, it's crazy.
I'm going to get it embedded in my eye. I can just sit here with my eyes closed and watch TV.
Well, you could have used that for church today.
No.
All right.
Imagine how many people be watching porn in church if they could do that.
Oh, that's just awful. You're not supposed to be remotely doing that anywhere, but church would be like, God should strike you dead right there. There'd be a lot more people going to the pew.
Paul, did you hear the sermon today? No. Wait, you were there. Yeah, but I was watching Pulp Fiction.
Oh, God. Well, one of the Red's victims that we were able to find out was E.C. Adams. And this was February 1st, 1945. He was a war plant worker from Little Rock. Found dead outside Forsyth. by gunshot. Basically, it's been said, I read in here that Red's like, I'm going to Louisiana. And the guy's like, sure, come on, get in the car. I'll take you as far as Camden. And so he gets in the car. And
which is Hot Springs, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Camden.
And so they shook hands and they were
Other
all...
side of the state from Stuttgart, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, his car was found later that day by basically a police officer that was noticing that his had Kansas plates, but that his car hadn't moved. Like he made to do his, I guess you could say, his patrol. He drove down, and then an hour and a half later, noticed the same car was still there. So he stopped and noticed that the guy was slumped over dead.
Say, hey y'all, what you doing here?
And then supposedly he found 2 sets of shoe prints on the ground leading off into the woods, and then only one set back to the highway. And it was falling along the tracks, railroad tracks and dense trees and undergrowth. He found several footprints, but that was really about it. That was it. I guess I don't know how they linked that to him to be.
But this whole time, I mean, this guy is going around killing people only because he got hit in the head with a stick. That's really the sad part about the whole thing.
Well, that and his dad beat the ever-loving daylights out of him.
Yeah, but I mean, how many people got their asses handed to them as a kid and they grew up to be a normal person?
Well, that's true. I guess you could say how many people got hit in the head with a stick and turned out fine.
Yeah.
I think it's like a combination of both, probably, I would suspect.
Well, it depends on the damage in the brain. Yeah, so he shot him with the same .38 pistol that he shot everybody. He shot the other guy at Carl Hamilton.
But what's funny, though, is he turns his pockets insides out. He takes his shoes, his socks off his feet, empties out his...
Off of Adams?
Yeah. Empties out his wallet. The wallet had the initials ECA on it beside him. There was a set of car keys in there. Basically, that was it. They trace a license plate to the wife. And what's sad is they had...
how long that took, like 3 days?
I don't know.
You have to make a phone call
to Kansas, and Kansas would have to go look it up.
And the whole time you're getting a hold of an operator. Operator, can you give me an operator in Kansas? Well, I can't, but I can give you one in McAllister, and they have the number for Kansas. Okay. Operator in McAllister, can you give me the number for Kansas? Well, yeah, I have Kansas, but only Wichita. Well, I need such and such other place. And the operator has to connect every time.
I would think that, okay, they don't know what town he's in. They just know what plates he had.
There was no area codes either.
Was there no area codes this time?
You had to know where you had to talk to an operator and say, yeah, I want to talk to this person in this place. This is their number. Wow. So the operator had to figure out how to get it connected.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The sad thing about all of this is he had a 2-week-old daughter.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sucks. Hope he had life insurance.
I don't know, but what's weird, you take a pair of socks and shoes from the guy?
Well, if his shoes are wore out, I mean, he didn't care, obviously. So
yeah, it's just crazy to me. But, basically the killing continued. So we have the next one is Doyle Mulhern. This guy was a truck driver. It's on the exact same date, February 1st, 1945. He was a meatpacking truck driver found shot to death. And from what I gather from reading this,
how did he get from Fordyce to Stuttgart that quick?
I don't know. It's on the same day, but I don't know what made him shot this guy. I think he said in later things that he just wanted money. I think, if I remember correctly. But I mean, this is like so sad though. This guy, Merlin, was basically, was going on they said that in the book that you can track his route down to a T, like down by the minute. He kept the same route between Stuttgart and Little Rock. And so pretty much, you can set your watch to it. He had the same .38 caliber slug.
So wait a minute. He was in Camden,
mm-hmm.
but it was Fordyce where he shot that guy.
Right.
Fordyce is only like 70 miles from Stuttgart.
Okay.
But Camden, Arkansas.
Well, from what I understand, this guy had his meatpacking plant between Stuttgart and Little Rock.
Right, but...
Forsyth's on the opposite side of the state?
No. Camden is. Not Forsyth.
Okay.
Forsyth's over there. But what about Camden?
Where'd you get Camden from?
You said it.
No, I said he set his routine like a watch between Little Rock and Stuttgart.
No. The last murder.
The last murder, he was...
I guess I'm wrong about where Camden is. I didn't think it was over there. I guess it's more towards the middle.
You don't care.
I thought it was Camden.
Yeah, he's found outside of Forsyth with a gunshot. So, I mean, it's on the same day. We don't know what time. I mean, any of this took place.
Well, that's true.
And maybe he took a hitchhiking and didn't hurt the person to get there faster. I mean, I don't know.
He could have hopped the train.
That's true. He could have hopped a train.
Camden is from Hot Springs is only 60 miles. Stuttgart 4 days. Camden, Hot Springs and Camden. I guess I'm just mistaken on where Camden is. I don't understand that, but so it's 60 miles is about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
In the day, maybe less because people drove really fast then and didn't care.
Or drove slower than
90 minutes in 45. 90 minutes to get from Hot Springs to Camden. So, yeah, I guess Camden's further towards the middle of the state than...
Maybe we should have told our listeners they need a map.
You need a map. There, not told them.
So what's interesting, though...
I'm just sitting there thinking about the geography of this. I'm like, how did he get there in the same day? But no, it makes sense now, I guess. I mean, even if he went to Hot Springs, I don't think he went to Hot Springs. I think he just went south out of Little Rock to Camden. Mm-hmm. And then took a left into Fordyce and then to Stuttgart.
Oh, I imagine if he's like hit his head and doesn't really have a plan, he's just winging this. I would imagine.
Yeah. And in the meantime, he killed 72 Mexicans. You don't think so?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I'm not going to put anything past
I think he's full of crap when it comes to the Mexicans.
But what is interesting, though, is
killed 10 Mexicans all at once or one at a time? What'd you do? Did you blow them up? Hit him with a train? I don't think he killed 10 Mexicans. I think he was just bragging.
1 on 10 is a little impossible, I would think, for anybody.
Yeah.
But interesting thing about this case, though, is the cops are like, this guy was killed with his pockets emptied and killed with a 38. And this guy's pockets were empty and killed with a 38. I think we have a link.
Mm-hmm. And back then, they knew how to do ballistics.
He only got $129 from this last guy.
That's a lot of money back then.
It is a lot of money back then.
$14 a month for rent.
I can't $14 a month for rent. Yeah. Wow.
For a nice place too. It's not just a dump.
So $129 would be like a gold mine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they only got paid like $100 a month to be in the military.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought about like money in the 40s because I just remember being a kid getting to buy like a piece of candy for 5 cents, and I thought I was the shiznit at 10. But
records still cost $8.
Crazy. Okay, so everyone's...
Let's see here. $12 a month is rent plus utilities.
Really?
Yeah. In $1940. $12 a month.
What in the world did we do where you can't even get anything for $14 a month now?
We can get Netflix subscription costs more than that now.
And no, that's crazy. What did Netflix used to be? What, $6.99 or something like that?
That was always like $9 if you wanted. Well, I always had 3 DVDs at once. 3, and I did the Blu-ray, so.
No, I didn't do any of that. I remember when it kept going up, and I'm like, what in the world? But I guess, everything goes up.
Yeah, so $100 that's 6 months rent.
Yeah. Yeah, but when he said that, I didn't really think about like things were cheaper then, but I was like, oh my gosh, nobody can get that now. Well, supposedly that's what we know he's killed, but he has a lot of unsubstantiated victims. He's got 11 in the same year before he met his wife. I'm not sure which one.
10 cents for a loaf of bread, by the way.
10 cents?
Yeah. For an expensive loaf of bread.
Wow. So this guy confessed this, but he has 0 names, 0 dates, and 0 locations for them to even corroborate any of this.
Yeah.
So more than likely he's just, talking some stuff. Supposedly a farm worker in Kansas, but no matching homicide was found.
Well, they thought he killed, they were going to link him to this dude that was a boiler worker.
Yeah.
But he was already going to jail and going to be executed by then. So it's like, whatever.
I'm thinking like, let's check that out because the person...
It costs more money to do that, and why bother?
Well, that explains why our laws are different now.
Yeah. But I mean, why do we want to go through all this crap when we know he's going to die in a year? Who cares?
That's why we have laws now, because they screwed up.
I don't know. I think we waste money on stuff like that.
Well, you want to know if they're guilty for sure before you like send them the electric chair because they've been.
We'll give you an extra piece of steak on your last meal if you tell us whether or not you did this.
That's not going to be an incentive for a prisoner.
Then he can just, admit to it.
Per piece of steak.
I mean, people have died for less.
I hope not. There's a man in Arizona, a motorist between Texas and Arkansas, 2 hobo killings.
Yeah, the hobos, no one will care about it at all.
Yeah.
No one cared about the hobos.
Which I'm thinking, like, picture a hobo is just like some homeless person going from one place to one place.
Hobos are guys, okay, that's now maybe in the late 90s, early 90s, late 80s. Hobo at the time was anybody who lived on the trains.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And that was a choice. It wasn't because they were poor. That's what they wanted to do. And being a hobo was a lifestyle at the time. In the 20s.
You're right. I forgot about that. But yeah, it was a lifestyle.
Yeah. Weird, huh?
But they also said he killed a man near Clarksville and a soldier he shot in 43. So none of this can be instantiated.
And again, this guy's 23, 22 years old when he did this because it's going to take about a year for the trial and him to wait in prison before they kill him. He did this by the age of 23.
I know. It's just what got him caught, though, I think is funny, is he decided, I'm going to go back to Little Rock.
Well, of course he's going to go back to Little Rock.
That's what he knows.
It's to visit his first wife.
I hope not, for her sake. But he goes back to Little Rock and he's sneaking around some cars. And somebody called the cops and he gets arrested. And when he gets arrested, he pretty much just confesses everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't even try to hide it. He just basically just blurts it all out what he did, almost like he's proud of it.
And the reason he's coming up with all these other homicides that he says he does is because everybody's like fawning over him. He's getting all this attention now because he's been arrested for killing people.
Yeah. So this was like March 15th of 1945. Little Rock detained him because he's just snooping around some cars and he just...
Well, he had all the stolen stuff on him, too.
Yeah, he had stolen stuff and, like things from the victims and he had a bunch of money and they're kind of like, he just openly opens his mouth. So he
wasn't very smart.
That's
because
true.
Of his brain injury, he was actually quite dumb. And these days, we might not put him to death because we don't put to death people who are stupid.
No, we do not. And we don't put to death people with mental illness.
Correct.
If he had one.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had a verifiable brain injury, so he's...
Yeah. So, so he gets in there, he just starts confessing everything, starts saying everything, and basically they go to trial and there's pretty nothing really to prove. They try to get all these people in from like different areas saying, they were curious about the way he would live caused him to do this. He was mentally unstable. He was slow. Everyone's trying to kind of give an excuse like the defense attorneys always do to try to get somebody, off.
Well, and he was trying, once he was convicted, one of the attorneys tried to get his execution date moved because it happened on the attorney's birthday.
I read that in the paper and I was laughing. I was like, who in the world
You jerk.
is going to be able? He's like, it's a special day for me. It's your birthday.
I don't care. It's not his birthday. It was an attorney's birthday.
Oh, that's right. It's attorney's birthday.
It's attorney's birthday.
The attorney doesn't want his birthday to be forever tainted.
Yeah. No. Bye. We don't care.
Yeah. So another thing that's funny, he's sitting in jail and, doing his thing.
The day before?
And he gets taken out of jail because there is a mattress on fire a couple cells down.
The day before.
Is the day before what?
The day before his execution.
No, I got a different date.
Do you?
Yeah, I got his execution was January 4th, 1946.
Yeah.
And this was May 12th, 1945.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they had to remove him from the jail cell. And he quotes by saying, "The electric chair almost got cheated this morning," end quote.
So Old Sparky.
Old Sparky.
Was it called Old Sparky for real?
That's what it's quoted as saying, Old Sparky.
It was. This wasn't its first victim, though, was it?
No, his first victim was Lee Simmons. Now, I couldn't find much information on his trial.
Lee Simmons or this guy's trial?
Red's trial.
Red's trial.
Basically, he kind of like confessed to it. There wasn't really a trial. It was more or less like sentencing. And
they still have to do some things. If you confess now, I don't even think they give you the death penalty.
the book really didn't cover his trial much. So it was kind of like, he gets up there, confesses, and then obviously going to go to the electric chair. But he was proud of it.
Well, of course.
But what the sad thing is that I read in the book is he's getting executed. And I don't know how this works.
The trial took 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah.
That's probably why she didn't cover much of it.
It was just his wife that he went to jail for.
Yeah, just his wife.
Yeah.
So basically, Faye, his first wife, second wife, whatever you want to call her, goes and sees him in the bars, behind the bars, and basically just asked.
Conjugal visit.
Oh God, that's nasty.
What?
No conjugal visit with the dad and the Mr.
Right.
Red.
Yeah.
No conjugal here. That's gross.
I don't know. It might be. I mean, dad has to supervise. Remember, he likes to control everything.
I'm taking it like he's in the conjugal. That's gross.
No, it's Red.
Red and the Faye's dad. I guess Faye's dad.
Oh, I thought Faye went there.
No, she's dead.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You get me mixed up because you threw the second wife in here, and I'm like, huh?
So anyways, I think he wants to get him to confess, get him to say, why did you kill our daughter? He stated saying, you could have just easily have given her back to us. You didn't, basically, why did you kill her? And his response was, I loved her. I never hurt her. I never did anything like that. It was an accident. And
she accidentally beat herself to death.
And the dad's like, you could have brought her home and it would have, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which makes me think if he did get married prior to, he let her go, if we're saying that this is like the correct timeline.
I don't know.
Then why did he beat Faye? Was he that mad at her because they were arguing and saying, I'm going to leave you?
She was a little bit, she told him to piss off many times.
She's a little spicy?
Yeah. So once they sent him to the electric chair, they hung his effigy up in the state police for like 40 years, 50 years afterwards.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I want to mention this point though. While he's in prison, guess what, guys? He's a respectable, wonderful, no disciplinary problems, a overall good inmate.
Yeah, it's because the prison guards would beat you if you didn't cooperate.
Now, this is in like the 40s, so...
They'd beat you if you didn't cooperate. They had chain gangs still then.
Chain gangs. Oh, gosh. I've heard like bad...
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, the chain gang thing. That's just awful. Well, I found that was interesting. It's like, of course you're going to be nice. There's no women in there for you to kill.
And they beat his ass if he doesn't do it right.
So they found this interesting. We have lethal injection now. We don't have Old Sparky. Old Sparky was what we called our electric chair. And we only got the electric chair because Arkansas decided that hanging was considered brutal. And so
Chop the dude's head off. Yeah.
They decided that this U of A professor for $1,000 decided, and he made the Old Sparky electric chair.
Well, $1,000, that's a lot of money. That paid his rent for about 6 years.
Yeah. And our first person, like we said, was Lee Simmons. But I found another thing that was interesting that I just remembered. Yeah. They had to execute a guy twice.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's funny. They executed him. They thought he was dead. They're putting him in the coffin, fixing to bury him. They noticed he was still breathing. So they had to put him back in Old Sparky and electrocute him again and then bury him.
That's why you have to make sure they're grounded correctly.
I'm thinking, and that's humane.
Well, he was dead. He's brain dead. His body was just living, guaranteed. You know how a body works.
I know, but I'm thinking that's cruel, man.
Edison electrocuted an elephant to prove how DC versus alternate current works.
You know how they tested Old Sparky? On a cow.
On a moo?
On a moo.
On a moo. Well, it's already pre-baked.
Oh, God, that's awful. It's already pre-baked. But what are you going to do? Leave this cow in there, and how are you going to strap it in? Exactly. I mean, why a cow? I mean, is there some
body mass?
Body mass?
More than likely.
How many volts do you have to get? How big? Like cows are like what? A couple?
Half ton.
Half ton? How much voltage for half a ton?
Pounds.
That's a lot of voltage.
Well, if it'll work on a cow, it'll work on a dude.
Oh, I guess there's not 1,000-pound guy that's going to sit in the chair. So I guess.
No, I mean, these days maybe.
So yeah, back to what you were saying. Now, when I read this book, the last part of it made me go, "Oh God, Arkansas, we're really screwed up." So,
This was a common thing for all police departments, by the way.
yeah, so we'll get that. Basically, 64 people came to witness the guy dying, and there were police officers, peace officers, newspaper people.
Yeah.
After he was dead, I'm assuming after he was dead, it doesn't specifically say, they decided, I'm going to make a death mask.
That's what they did. They did that back then. They'd done that for centuries. That's what they did.
They made a death mask, and I'm like, why are you making a death mask? And they used to believe that if you send this death mask off to, at the beginning of the time of this day and age of forensic people felt like they can tell you by the ridges on someone's face and lines and...
His nose is big. He must be a murderer.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm thinking, what do you do with the death mask? And here's the kicker. They were displayed in the Arkansas State Police headquarters up until 1981.
With all the rest of the guys they executed.
Can you imagine walking in there? If they're saying...
Yeah, I mean, it was common, man.
You walk in there and see a bunch of masks on the wall. I mean, people go into the state police not just because they're criminals, for like other things. Can you imagine trying to get your driver's test done in the 80s and you see all these dead faces on the wall?
That's not where you take your driver's test.
But that's my first thought was this poor like 15-year-old kid seeing all these dead faces on the wall.
Well, that'd keep you from doing anything. You'd be like, well, I don't want to end up in there with that guy.
And like you said earlier when we were talking about this, it's no different than when they put heads on spikes. So I guess it's kind of the same thing.
There's a warning to you. You will die. Right?
But when I read in there, they couldn't figure out what happened to the death masks after they moved in 81. Only 2 of them are still recovered out of, I don't know, they didn't list how many.
Of all the other inmates, all the other executions, they only have 2 left?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they're sitting in some...
I bet some cops like, I'll take that one.
Yeah, maybe.
I remember that.
Maybe.
I remember that guy. I'm going to take him and take him home.
Yeah. It's very possible. Very, very possible. It's that, it could be at the Clinton mansion for all we know.
Hanging up in someone's garage.
It could be the Huckabee mansion for all we know.
That's when Grandpa killed Billy Bob. And great grandpa did. But 2 of the masks remain, and they're at the Old State House Museum in Little Rock.
Okay.
But the sad thing about this, though, is his...
Their DNA has been embedded in that more than likely. You might actually be able to reproduce their DNA and clone them.
Well, let's not clone Red. We know what he did.
Well, if he didn't have the brain damage.
That's just dangerous right there.
He didn't have the brain damage. He'd be fine.
I want to know...
We just make a slave out of him going.
Oh, gosh.
What?
What I need to look up, just for a follow-up on this, now that you got me to thinking, I need to know the names of the death masks and how many we had total.
I don't know how many people. I mean, it's easy to answer, right?
Yeah.
How many people?
Yeah, how many people died on death row in Arkansas?
Were executed.
From, I guess, when did we do executions here?
Probably from the beginning. We found the state and we got the Constitution up. Oh, tomorrow we're having a hanging.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
You're going to hang as you stole a horse.
Yeah. Back then, they did that, man.
Yeah, they did do that. It's a sad thing about it.
Oof.
But can you imagine though? I'm just thinking like walking in there and seeing all these heads. I was mortified at the fact we even did it. Then what other states do it?
Everybody did it.
What do you do? Like shove, like here's some plaster of Paris.
Yeah.
What, you're just going to leave him in the electric chair and put the
Between
plaster?
200 and 210 executions since becoming a state in 1836.
That's a lot of heads.
160 plus in 1836 to 1913 by hanging. 1913 to 64 with the electric chair, we executed 60. From 64 to 89, we didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, probably politics.
Well, yeah. And from 90 to present, 30 people.
I just remember when Hutchinson was governor, he was fast tracking that crap.
Yeah, well, he better. Some of these guys have been on death row 30 years.
That's crazy. But I did figure this out, that the family didn't claim the body, they were buried on the prison grounds. And he was in Tucker's prison. And so his family, Red's family, claimed him. But here's the sad thing. They buried him, but his parents aren't buried in the same cemetery or around him. Well, obviously.
This all makes sense.
But what's interesting, though, is they say that Red is buried very close to Wasey. And then their unborn child. Like there's
the first wife, supposedly.
There's one other person between her, which is her mother.
Yeah.
Which, I
mean,
mean,
what do we do with people these days whenever they have the bad injury like that and they're just kind of crazy? What do we do with them?
I don't really honestly know.
Do they go on disability?
I know TBI injuries, some people, depending upon, I mean, what kind of injury they have, I know they get a lot of neurological type follow-up appointments and care, but as far as like personality goes, I don't know. I mean, this is also back in the 40s where I don't know what kind of, we didn't have antidepressants. We probably didn't even have antipsychotics.
No, we had lithium and stuff like that.
Lithium's probably the only thing we had. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Cocaine, you can do that.
I don't think cocaine would help the situation. Probably make him worse.
I don't know.
But lithium is like old school harsh drug, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know we
Here, suck on a battery, you'll feel better. No, it's lithium, not lithium ion.
We don't.
Slightly different. Okay.
But I think we didn't know about psychology or brain stuff.
We knew some. I mean, Freud was around. Jung was around.
But we thought that a death mask would help us figure out who's a killer. So I guess anything's possible in a primitive state.
They had no idea what. I mean, they were just. It was the infancy of all this stuff. I mean, until in '94 when I went to college to be, I was going to be a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And I went to college and the guy's teaching us and he's like, maybe it was 92, 93. And he's like, anything we don't understand ends up being, schizophrenia. Yeah.
That's sad.
We don't understand it. It's schizophrenia. Now we have diagnosis. We overdiagnose now. We get diagnoses for things that don't need to be diagnoses.
Well, I know schizophrenia is broken down into like 3 or 4 different types. I only know that because they have separate codes. For what I do, that's important to know. And like depression is broken down into like 8 or 9 and 10 different. So I think
and
like
ADHD and ADDHD, DD.
The DD.
Yeah.
But I think
the
like
double D's. No, those aren't. That's not a psychosis. That's just interesting.
That's just men looking at boobs.
Yes.
But I
it's interesting.
Oh gosh. I think though people like him is probably what got like the wrestler in Mindhunter. Everybody's probably watched that, and we're learning about all that stuff. Oh, have we going to put it into your Robert Wrestler twin?
No, not this guy because it's solved.
It's solved.
And he just says he's a spree killer.
Yeah, which I read that.
When I put it in there and it's like not interesting.
But now I want to Google who is a legitimate serial killer for Arkansas.
I know this one guy didn't like cereal very much.
Does that make him a killer?
Only if he killed the cereal. No.
You're nuts. That's why I love you.
I hope so.
Yeah, I love you. You're crazy.
Wasco Wabbit. Am I Elmer Fudding it?
No, you're not Elmer Fudding it. But that's what we got on Mr. James Wayburn Hall.
Yeah, he's an interesting kid, I guess. He's just...
And here I was getting all excited. You're going to use your psychoanalyst on him.
Well, there's nothing to psychoanalyze. He's nuts because he's got a brain injury.
So if you get whacked in the head or know anybody gets whacked in the head, watch. Be careful.
Yeah, I guess. I mean...
I don't know. I'm just being a smart ass.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he was crazy. And because he couldn't help it. He wouldn't.
Yeah, poor guy.
So we have more T-shirts up, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And more T-shirts. And if you want the T-shirt, you go to paulgnewton.com and then go to get your swag. Because that's where it's all at. And I like this one. We haven't destroyed the world yet is one of the T-shirts. It's because it's Paul G's Corner. Right? Now, there's one for Andrea that we have up there is the Ask Me About Murder or Donuts. Honestly, she mixes them up.
I don't mix them up.
It's the shirt.
I know. I can't eat donuts anymore, so.
And then Need to Know Everything.
I like that. I need to know everything.
Yeah. I still like the Burger in Space, personally.
Or the Squid Wars.
The Squid Wars of 2783.
I may just buy that just to wear it and see if get people's weird looks.
They would be like, no.
Exactly.
I like the Walmart CSI shirt, actually.
Only people who live in Arkansas will get that one, probably.
The CSI Walmart parking lot unit, Arkansas division of the,
Yeah, a lot of things happen in the Walmart parking lot. Good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. I mean,
it depends on where you're at.
Prom night, a lot of things happen in the Walmart parking lot, too.
Oh, God.
What?
I don't want to think about that.
Well, back in the day, everybody was gone. It was just empty.
Oh, yeah. Now they're open all 24 hours in places.
Not anymore. I think they quit doing that. Oh, well. PaulGNewton.com. And if you like the episode, please comment and share and say a bunch of stuff that's really good or bad. Doesn't matter. We just need people to realize we're here.
And whoever in Iowa that seems to really like us and listens to us, email us because we'll give you a shout out.
Or a shirt, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll send you the Walmart shirt.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Things I Want to Know. You want these stories, and we want to bring them to you. So hit the support link and keep this circus and the mics alive. Then do us a favor, rate and subscribe. It helps the show find more people just like you, the ones who like their mysteries real and their storytellers unfiltered. And if you want to wear a little bit of this madness, grab some Andrea-approved gear at paulgnewton.com. We make these things for you because it matters, and you're the kind who knows the difference.